Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over your first frost forecast for the year of 2020, and we're going to be going over whether I think that is going to be earlier or later than normal. As well, we're also going to go over when you expect to see your average first frost on average, when you expect to see it. So we're going to start off here with your average first frost and when you expect to see it, and we're going to uncover what each individual color represents here. So here in this white region, almost a gray, this is where you expect it to be September 1st or earlier. This includes some higher elevation regions in parts of Washington, or actually Oregon, Nevada, into Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, and then into Colorado there. Those higher elevation areas, very high in elevation, this is where you expect your average first frost to be September 1st or earlier. Now, in this pink region, which covers a large portion of the country, from parts of the Sierra Nevadas in parts of California, Nevada, to all the way throughout the Rockies for the rest of the lower elevation regions in the Rockies, and then into portions of the northern plains, the northern Great Lakes, and then into some higher elevation regions in Pennsylvania and upstate New York, as well as West Virginia, and then throughout parts of upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and into Maine there, where you expect your average first frost to be sometime between September 1st and September 30th. Now, this is not a forecast right now, but we will go into when or whether you should expect your first frost to be later or earlier than normal. So right now, I'm just showing you on average when you expect to see your first frost, and then we'll go over my actual forecast. Now, here in this purple shade, this is where you expect your average first frost to be between October 1st and October 15th. This includes parts of Washington and then down through Nevada, Utah, Arizona, through parts of New Mexico, Colorado, and then through the plains into parts of the Great Lakes, parts of the Appalachian Mountains, and then throughout much of the rest of the Northeast there. So this is where you expect your average first frost to be between October 1st and October 15th. Now, this is on average again, and this is not a forecast currently, but I will show you my forecast at the end of the video. Now, here in this lighter purple shade, this is where you expect your average first frost to be between October 16th and 30th. This includes parts of the coastal regions of Washington, throughout parts of Oregon, and also Northern California. Then it extends throughout parts of the southern parts of New Mexico and Arizona, and then throughout parts of the plains, throughout the Ozarks, and then into parts of the Tennessee Valley, and then throughout parts of the interior southeast and the mid-Atlantic coastal states there. So this is again where you expect your average first frost to be between October 16th and October 30th. Now, in this blue shade, this is where you expect your average first frost to be between November 1st and 15th. This includes parts of coastal Oregon, as well as some individual higher elevation regions in parts of southern and central California, into parts of southern Nevada, western, or kind of the halfway point between Arizona there, and then also for the northern half of Texas, kind of in a straight line throughout Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, and then kind of curves up into Georgia and the coastal Carolina states. That's where you expect your average first frost to be between November 1st and November 15th. And then in this green region, this is where you expect your average first frost to be between November 16th and November 30th. And this is for parts of Northern California and then interior, central, and southern California, as well as parts of southern Nevada and much of the rest of Arizona there, parts of southern and central Texas, as well as southern Louisiana, the Gulf Coast regions of Mississippi, Alabama, and the Panhandle of Florida, as well as parts of southeastern Georgia. Expect their first frost on average to be between November 16th and November 30th, anywhere in this green shade. And now, in this yellow shade, this is where you expect your average first frost to be between December 1st and December 31st, and some areas in this yellow shade don't even average a first frost, but on average, every couple of years, you'll see a frost in these regions, and this includes the rest of Southern California, except for the islands off the coast of southern California, for parts of southeastern California, southwestern Arizona, and then for much of the rest of Texas, southernmost Louisiana, and then into central Florida. Again, that is where you expect your average first frost to be between December 1st and December 31st. Now, this orange region for the islands off the southwestern coast of California, as well as some areas in extreme southern Texas and the southern, I would say, quarter of Florida there. That is where you expect a rare or no freeze in a typical year. So if you a rare freeze would mean about once every 3, 4, 5 years, and no freeze would indicate you every about 20, 30 years you might get down to about 36, 35 degrees to get a frost in those regions. But it is very, very rare in these regions. Now, let's start talking about my fall forecast, and this is going to show you where I'm expecting warmer than normal temperatures. Now, I just took this from my fall forecast, which you can find on my channel, my most recent one. This includes my temperature anomaly forecast for the fall forecast, or for the fall time frame of 2020. In this lighter yellow shade, this is where I'm expecting over the southwest. This is where I'm expecting slightly above normal temperatures, as well as for portions of the Great Lakes and the Northeast. And then for this orange shade, for parts of California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, this is where I'm expecting moderately above average temperatures, as well as for parts of northern Michigan, as well as parts of the Northeast there, where I am expecting moderately above average temperatures. Now, here in this over the south central and the southeastern United States, this is where I am expecting slightly below average temperatures for fall, and this is again for parts anywhere from about Texas to Florida, and then going northward there. This is where I'm expecting slightly below normal temperatures. So here is whether I think you're going to see a later or earlier than normal first frost. This is the official forecast here. In this kind of light brown shade, this is where I am expecting a later first frost than what is typical over parts of the southwestern corner of the United States. So from Oregon southeastward into southwest Texas there, that's where I'm expecting later than normal first frosts. And then also for parts of the northern Great Lakes and into parts of the Northeast, this is where I'm expecting later than normal first frost, and this would be by a factor of about 1 to 5 days. Now, in this darker brown shade, this would be or moderately later than normal, and this would be on a factor of about 5 to 10, maybe even a little bit more days later than what is typical, and that would be over parts of the eastern part of California, much of Nevada, much of Utah, much of Arizona, actually all of Arizona, and then westernmost New Mexico there, where I'm expecting much later first frost on a factor of about 5 to about 10, maybe even more days later than what is typical. Now, here in much of the south central and the southeastern United States, I am expecting earlier than normal first frosts, and this is again for the south central and the southeastern United States. And again, I am expecting earlier than normal first frost for these regions. Now, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.